With that, I invite our gentleman on the panel, Ramit Singh Chimni, the founder of Rashish Group. Welcome, Ramit.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity to be afforded to me by Harbeen and by all of you at all. That never gets old, really, the whole acronym of all.
No.
But I must confess that I'm terrible at keeping my rambles confined within a time limit.
We'll do the job.
Right?
Don't worry.
You can kick me out if I go on for too long. Diplomacy, conflict resolution, and human rights. Now, all of these are meant to be words for positive action, right? But if you look closer, there's something inherently wrong with them, with all three words. Diplomacy assumes that straight, honest conversation will not yield results. The second presupposes the dependent on the existence of a conflict. The third comes into being because the principles that it seeks to protect were dehumanized by society in the past and are currently being done so as well. Now, sounds quite cynical, doesn't it? But unfortunately, that's what I am. A cynic, albeit on a mission to bring an end to my cynicism. The unfortunate fact is that in spite of whatever may be projected or stated, our world today is dictated by commerce. Diplomacy, conflict resolution, and human rights are all issues raised in the interest of commerce, but under the more widely and more positively used terms of globalization and development. Now, probably just to put things in context and to prove my point here, it just may be apt to point out that the term globalization was formally defined for the very first time by the Oxford Dictionary in 1930. Now, note the dates. It was defined by Webster in 1951. Both of them defined globalization as the expansion of trade and the transcending of borders by businesses. That was the essence of the definition by both. Now, to obviously all students of history, who probably all of us have been, you know that both these dates are coinciding with the end of the world wars. The most bloodiest wars that the world has ever seen. The wars never ended. They never really did. The ensuing exploitation never ended. Power, and more importantly, money, went on to hide all of that. Today, Indian companies boast of being the foremost producers of tea and sugar, right? We're lauded by the entire world for that. But what is not spoken of is all the deaths that took place of sugar farmers in Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh over all these years. I've worked with them personally for over 15 years, and I've seen what's happened on the ground. It doesn't take into account the exploitation that is made at the hands of these tea manufacturers, of tea workers in Darjeeling. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a communist. I'm not a socialist. I'm not anti-progress. But what I am, and I repeat this from the last time that I was here on the stage in Guwahati, I'm scared. And I'm scared of the narrative that the world has adopted. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not willing to accept it. Now, given this scenario, the question is, who's going to take the lead to set our world right? The countries are not going to do it. They have their own agendas. The companies and commercial establishments are not going to do it. They have their own agendas. There are only human beings and individuals at the individual level who can do this. The countermeasure to reverse this mindset that the world has adopted, in my opinion, is selflessness. And that brings me to why I stand here and I'm here amongst all of you. Selflessness is a virtue that is often cited, however correctly or incorrectly, to be the reason why women are not put on the front line, because they supposedly can't take the life of another man. As Harbeen, you mentioned during your talk with Vivek Oberoi on day one, it's also the reason why women do not lead most of the large organizations, because they can't put being ruthless to employees first. They can't put being ruthless to competitors first, and so on and so forth. Now, as I said, however right or wrong these notions may be, they highlight what is wrong in this world. And the women, all of you, are best placed to solve the problems of our world today. This conference today is the prime example of this, right? And I've been to many conferences world over on all of such issues which are not commercially driven, including at the University of Sydney, including at Harvard, right? And I've delivered lectures. What is different about this conference, Harbeen, and I said this then, and I want to say this again to you and to everyone here. There are no pitches going on here. You're not looking where your next piece of business is going to come from in the garb of talking about all of these issues that we're talking about here. You're actually talking about what is right. Put 50 more men into this room, and that's not going to be the case. And I'm sorry to say this, but that's exactly how it is. Right? My last message to you, please don't be a cynic like me. I am a cynic, and I probably sounded more like one right now. But don't be that. There is hope for this world. We can do what is right. All of us just need to make sure that we're concentrating on what is right and filtering out what is being told to us. And as long as all of us can do that, and all of you can do that, we will make sure that in my lifetime, and I'm fairly young right now, in my lifetime, this entire narrative that I am so unhappy about has changed. It's not going to take longer than that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ramit. Really well spoken. Someone said earlier today that people who think they can change the world are the ones who actually end up doing the jobs. Inviting Ramit Singh Chimni for representing the diversity also on this panel. Congratulating Ramit for being an exceptional leader of excellence.